You know, the corporate press, they do this thing where they're a year behind everybody else or a couple years behind everybody else. Here's a story from Real Clear Politics. CNN witnesses 3 shoplifting incidents within 30 minutes at San Francisco Walgreens. That's right. They went to a San Francisco Walgreens to try and report on the strange practice of locking up all the products, including fake eyelashes and like hair gel and stuff. And sure enough, people actually shoplifted while they were filming. There's a camera pointed at the guy's face. He doesn't care. Now, the big picture here is not just ragging on CNN. It's that shoplifting is technically not illegal. It's technically illegal. It's on the books, but there's a lot of things called blue laws that are on the books that don't get enforced anymore. So here we are, my friends. Let's start with the hypocrisy of CNN, the idiocy and ignorance, and then the cultural ramifications. Take a look at this story from CNN Business in January. Maybe we cried too much over shoplifting, Walgreens executive says. Okay. Then we have this video. Let me play this video for you. Kyung La of CNN says in San Francisco, we went to the Walgreens that is the #1 spot for theft in all of the 9,000 US stores per Walgreens. This is where chains once shut the freezer section, and we saw 3 thefts right in front of us. But across SF, coffee, mustard, nail polish are all locked up. What I love about this is Dayquil. Let me play the video. Is it going to give me the business? Yeah, Twitter often does it. This is and it predates Elon. Here you go. Here's the video. I got to get the audio going. Sorry. You see, that's, every time.
The frozen food section, this.
Chains, heavy chains that went from padlock to padlock on both sides of the doors. And this was bizarre, something I'd never seen before. This is just more icing on the cake, telling us that rampant crime has become a regular part of life.
So typical that in the 30 minutes we were at this Walgreens, we watched 3 people, including this man, steal.
Did that guy pay? Did that guy pay? He didn't pay.
Walgreens says this Richmond neighborhood store with aisles of products like mustard locked behind plexiglass has the highest theft rate of all their nearly 9,000 US stores, hit more than a dozen times a day.
And you'll notice that cold and flu medicine and fake eyelashes are behind these as well.
When thieves turned to cleaning out ice cream and frozen burritos, workers grew so frustrated they resorted to the chains. They were ordered down by corporate because of the negative messaging. Nail.
I don't know. I don't understand why coffee.
Here she is.
But it's become kind of like a police state in San Francisco. I don't know how.
You see, did you hear that? A local guy in San Francisco says it's become a police state because a supermarket had to lock up their coffee because people are stealing it. My guy, that's the opposite of a police state. People are taking security into their own hands.
Describe it.
It's not part of city life. It's not part of the way people should be living, right? And that includes folks who are committing the crimes.
Marjan Philauer, mom of 3, small business and community advocate, says these visible problems in her city are leading to renewed activism driven by residents, like the recall of the city's district attorney last year.
I think what we've seen, especially in the past couple of weeks,
Addict sees the rampant shoplifting as a systemic problem, from city leaders to an understaffed police force to the fentanyl crisis.
When you're seeing that level of retail theft, that tends to be subsistence level retail theft.
People who are hungry.
People are hungry. There is a level of addiction playing out in many.
That is the most frustratingly insane thing anyone can say. These people deserve exactly what's happening to them, and I have no sympathy and no empathy. Subsistence theft? Fake eyelashes, deodorant, Dayquil? Spare me. You want to make an argument about taking medicine for your illness as subsistence? That I get. Nobody likes being sick and feeling miserable, and you might need to work and you might be broke, but stealing is still wrong. But fake eyelashes, dude? Nah, we're not playing that. Here's the reality. Shoplifting is legal, technically, in San Francisco. Let me explain why. How about this one? Was it Florida? Let me ask you a question. Is it legal for a woman to parachute on Sunday in Florida? Many of you would probably say yes, but let me double check. Pretty sure it's illegal. Here we go. If you are an unmarried skydiving enthusiast who happens to be a female, do not attempt to skydive on a Sunday in Florida. It's illegal. Do you think any woman is ever going to get arrested for skydiving in Florida on Sunday? Of course not. But it's illegal, isn't it? Yeah. Huh. They don't enforce that law. Why? People would revolt. Well, I got to be honest. They probably wouldn't. It's really interesting. Now that I think about it, if the cops arrested a woman who skydived, she lands in a field and the instructor's there and they're like, yay. The cops walked up and said, ma'am, are you married? And she went, no. Like, you're under arrest. Nobody would protest. Judge would probably throw it out because judges are reasonable. And they'd say, this is ridiculous. This law makes no sense. The judge would just say the law is garbage. So why does the law still exist? Because law doesn't matter. Now let's look at San Francisco. If people can walk into a Walgreens, take whatever they want, and then walk out, and they don't get arrested for it, sure. You can argue it's illegal, but do we really as a society consider it illegal if the cops won't arrest you for it? Do you think the cops would even show up? That guy who stole in plain view of CNN's cameras did not care he was being filmed. Right. So for you, you live in a small town or in the suburbs or maybe even live in the city. You don't want people to steal from you. These big corporations, they don't care. I mean, they care for the most part. All that'll really happen is they'll cease to exist because they can't exist so long as people are allowed to take whatever they want. That's it. The police won't arrest them. There's nothing you can do about it. You can try to physically block them from stealing, not with your person, just with chains, because if you actually intervene, you'll be fired. So how can this society function? This guy, in San Francisco, subsistence. Okay, it's all free. If you're at a Walgreens and someone grabs $10 worth of food and walks out, the police will not show up. They'll say, what do you want us to do about it? Arrest the guy. We can't arrest the guy. What's going to happen? And if that's the reality, it's not illegal, is it? Call the police on a female skydiver unmarried on a Sunday in Florida. And what do you think they'll say? They will laugh because the law on the books doesn't matter. What matters is what police are willing to enforce. And that means our good friends over on the West Coast are getting exactly what they've asked for. Now, all of us outside of places like California are shocked. How could they live this way? They don't care. That guy in that grocery store said it was a police state. Dude, a private business not letting you take coffee is a police state? Oh, my house. I locked the front door. It's turning into a police state. People should be able to just walk in and take whatever they want. Welcome to the Democrat vision of how cities should operate. Now, you'll sit down with these people and they'll say, no, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen, but we're going to keep letting it happen. That's what they'll say. They'll say, oh, it's so bad, but they'll keep letting it happen. It's funny now. Walgreens, corporate, doesn't want the bad image associated with chaining up their freezers. I'll tell you what's going to happen. CNN ran this story. As of last night, it has 1.1 million views on Twitter from this one tweet alone. Now people are going to get the message. This Walgreens, it's up for grabs. There was a website someone sent me. The 10 best locations to steal from. And they said, screw the corporations. Take what you want. They mentioned a bunch of chains. I'm not going to mention them, but they basically said they won't do anything about it. You can take whatever you want. They won't do anything about it. It's an interesting world we live in, to be completely honest. If you go to Starbucks and complain, free drink. It's like corporate policy. So I've heard. Now, I've been to Starbucks before and I've ordered a drink. They've made it wrong. And I said, hey, this is made wrong. And they remake it for you. Knowing that they do this, there are people who walk in and just lie and say, I had a drink made wrong, and they'll just remake it on the spot without having to pay. It's like an honor system. You think about where San Francisco is currently at, and I got to tell you guys, basically, you're choosing to pay. So what happens to a society when you have most people saying like, hey, if they don't got to pay, why do I got to pay? Yeah. What do you think happens? Everyone will just stop paying. The Walgreens will cease to exist because that system is impossible to maintain. Someone's got to pay for it. Maybe the rest of the Walgreens chains will subsidize it. But eventually, you're going to see a regular dude who's not homeless or starving just be like, I just saw someone walk out with $100 and I'm supposed to pay. How is that fair? Why do they get to take whatever they want for free? You're not doing anything about it. You don't care. Then why should I care? It's only fair, right? I wonder what California is going to look like in a few years. Anyway, shout out CNN. Good job. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. today. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all next time.